You know what I mean?
And you were serving in the teams for 8 years. I'm just thinking of this as you're giving that answer.
Yeah.
Like, are you allowed to say where you were at all?
I just try to be vague just because of the fact that I was doing a human thing. So Middle East.
Okay.
I just try to be vague there. Just
we
Middle
can
East.
use our imaginations on that one.
Yeah.
So how often were you deployed over there versus back home time off? Like, was there a set kind of schedule or?
So the way it works is you do your workup, deploy, do your workup, deploy, do your workup, deploy. So it's that. It's about, I want to say it's like 18 months workup. When you get back from deployment, you have like a vacation, and then like we call it leave. And then depending on where you're going, and it's about 6 to 8 month deployment.
Okay.
So the deployments I did were about 6 to 7 months. So I would say 7 months the longest, just because like we have like what's called ADVON. So ADVON is like the advance. Your whole platoon won't go, but like a part of your platoon will go. ADVON will get there early because part of that is to do a turnover, and then the rest of the platoon.
I don't think I heard of that.
Yeah, we call it ADVON.
Got it.
So yeah, so that kind of adds a little more time sometimes on guys' deployment. OICs for the most part, platoon chiefs, like human guys in some cases. If you're a medic that has like sniper, breacher, qual, like a bunch of different quals, for sure you're part of that ADVON to get there, because now you're replacing another team that's coming back for the most part, to fill that space. So, yeah, man.
Are you allowed to say what team you were on? Like what number, or is that no go?
I can't. I was on West Coast teams.
Okay. What are they, even or odd?
So West Coast teams are odd.
Always forget.
East Coast teams are even.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so you're in the Middle East, like, because again, we've kind of touched on this, but you're doing intel work.
Yeah.
But then you're also doing, like, how much of it was like out there in the field doing kind of covert source work versus you're kitted up doing missions, to kicking down doors and doing your thing?
A part of it is. So I'll take one deployment as an example.
Okay.
Right. So for this particular deployment I was on, we did what's called vampire ops. So we slept. We went to bed like around 8, 9, depending on like 10 in the morning. Woke up like around 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And then like for me, like I was doing my intel stuff. Like I was meeting with sources, like pretty much like right after I had breakfast. Right? I call it breakfast. Like I'm meeting with sort of, and I had an interpreter that I worked through for the most part. So it's not just me, it's me and an interpreter. And then also sometimes I would go in with another guy. And so you do that. There's more to it because you have your team meetings every day as well, which is a part of it as well. And then route that information up the chain. After you do your meetings, write your report, send that up. And again, I'm just taking a random day, but one meeting is not going to lead to an operation, right? It's like sometimes it's 2 meetings, sometimes it's 3 meetings, right? Because part of it is like getting that information and then vetting that information. It gets other information to make sure it's accurate. It's not so you can't have a source come in and be like, so and so's at that house. Like, all right, we're gonna go take down that house. It's like, all right, so and so's at that house. All right, cool.
You got to double. Yeah.
Let me try and get somebody else to vet, and then get somebody else to vet that. And then once that information is set up the chain of command, again, there's more to it, but I'm sublimating it for the sake of not trying to get into all the details. Then an op can get approved. Right? DA, we call it DA, direct action mission, can get approved, right? Or a recon mission or whatever the case, whatever the mission is required, right? And so I would do that, and then we would go in DAs, we would go out the door like at, I don't know, midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, when everybody's asleep, and then come back, and that was the day, that was the cycle, you know what I mean? Like build the intelligence, and when we have it all and everything's been vetted, we're not going out every single night.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a process.
Yes.
Right, and then there's information we're getting that's not coming from me. Right, there's like maybe the battle space command is like, there's a target over here. You got to go hit this target now. Boom, boom, boom. And that's a different situation.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.